A very warm welcome to each and everyone who have joined the session for today, where we'll be having the session for basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So, in today's session, we will try to understand the concept of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and apart from that, we'll also try to understand the concept of building a static website and building a dynamic website. So figure it out, if I want to figure it out, what are the overall things we need to know? Before moving to that, I'll show you how to download the editor. So I'll tell you what is the use of these editors and all. So first of all, my browser. I'll go to my browser and type Sublime download. So I basically prefer using Sublime. If you are already familiar with different kinds of code editors like VS Code or like Notepad++ or even Notepad, no problem in that. Okay, so just to give an initial kickstart for your session, I'll be using the Sublime text. Okay, so I'll click Sublime download. It will take us to www.sublimetext.com. I'll click on the download button, and here we will be redirected to the download page. This download page is going to be the page from where we can download our Sublime text. So depending on the operating system we people are using, like if we are using Apple product, like we can go for Mac OS. If we are using Windows, then we can go for using Windows. Okay, no problem in that. Then after this, because even if you are using some Linux or Fedora or Ubuntu or any other operating system, then you can proceed with this link. So as I'm using Windows 11, then I'll go for choosing the Windows option, but directly I'll not go for working with this. Even you can download the setup also, but instead of that, there is one more another way that we can do. I can go for downloading a portable version. So I'll right click on it. Okay, I'll just click on it so that my Sublime will be downloaded over here. As you can see, my Sublime is downloaded. I'll click on the folder, or you can directly go to downloads. From there you can work for it. So here, once I download the portable version, it comes up with a zip file. As you can see, it is a zip file, and if you people are working in Windows 11, then when I right click on it, automatically a option, so automatically a option will be displayed for me. Okay, I'm in my downloads. When I right click on the Sublime, I'll get an option of extract all, which is a default option provided for Windows 11. And if you are using Windows 10, then you need to either download extracting applications like WinRAR or WinZip. So I have already got this option for extract all. I'll click on extract all, then click extract. Once the folder is being extracted, we'll just wait for it. Once the folder is being extracted, it will automatically open over here. Or even you can just go for, as you can see, the today's work which I had downloaded. This is my Sublime zip file, and this is my Sublime build. I'll double click on it and go for selecting this option, which is Sublime text. I'll click it once, right click on it and say show more options, and I'll say pin to taskbar. Here it is. The automatic taskbar is being opened over here in the taskbar. So I close everything whatever I had opened, and now even I'll close this also. I don't need of it. Minimize everything, and now you can see that I have got a option of Sublime in my taskbar. So the only thing that I need to do right now is I need to create a folder where we will be working on it. We will be working on it. So to create a folder, I'll just go for my file explorer, then click on this PC, go to my Windows C, and no need of storing it, in a particular folder itself. You can store it anywhere in any drive. If your system has been, partitioned with C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive, whatever, you can store it anywhere. So I'll just go for selecting this PC, going to Windows, and I'll create a new folder called 2025 internship. Okay, just click on it. Here I have the folder created with the name 2025 internship. Now, one thing that I'll do is click my Sublime text. Okay, I'll broader it. Then from here, this is my editor. The editor is basically used for not remembering the syntaxes. Okay, some might get confused. Even if you remember, I had asked you one question while providing you a demo, that how many of you fear for programming language? Okay, the only fear that you come down while programming languages is because you can't remember the syntaxes. It is very, very difficult to remember the syntax. So for that, we can use the editors like Sublime, VS Code, Notepad++, or any other different kinds of uh, editors. So that will do the work for us. Okay, let me just open the folder from where I'll be working. So I will be creating all the necessary files inside our newly created folder. I'll click on File, Open Folder, and now I'll go for searching the folder where it is. Double click on it, 2025 internship. This is the newly created folder. I'll select the folder over here, and here we can see that all the necessary files will be shown over on the left hand side, so that it will make us easy for us to work on the coding part. Now, once we have done this, this is the initial setup how we will be starting to write the code. First part is we require a new file. Either I can right click on it, right click on the folder, say new file. Okay, new file. Then first go for saving the file. Okay, just save it and check out that your 2025 internship is available. And the industrial standards say that the first file in the folder should always be called as index. Okay, irrespective of programming language you are using, if you are using PHP, if you are using Python, if you are using .NET, if you are using Java, JavaScript, any sort of file it might be, the first file you should always save is with the name of index in a new folder. Okay, I'll tell you why will be using this index later on. Okay, just think that we have created a new file with the name index, and because we will be creating the HTML file, so the extension will be .html, and I'll click enter on it. So this is our startup, or we can give a kickstart from here to work on this particular file. So as before moving to the technology part of HTML, before moving to that, I want to just come back to the topic which I had started. So we were talking about the web pages and website. So as I said, your website is a collection of web pages, and web page is nothing but a electronic page where we will be storing the data. Okay, in the terms of text, in the terms of multimedia, and like images, uh, videos, or image, or we can go for even displaying Google Maps, and number of things are available, even MP3 files also. This is our particular uh, web page. Okay, now to understand what different kinds of web pages we can create, to understand what different kinds of web pages we can create. Okay, let me just, so we can create two types of web pages. Okay, one is static web page and another one is dynamic web page. We can create static web page and we can create the dynamic web page. Two different types of web pages can be created by in the whole world. Okay, so first, talking about the web pages of static. Static is nothing but a web page where we will be creating the website or a web page just to show the user only the data, which means it will be only read only thing, read only, where we cannot interact with the particular web page. No interaction means we can't do anything in the website. We can only just go for viewing it. Apart from that, we can't do anything. So I'll just add no interaction. Okay, so as we are basically going to use it only for read only, and there will be no interaction with the web page. No interaction means I can't enter any sort of data into the website, nor I can go for displaying the data in it. So whatever the owner of the website has given, I can only just read it. That is enough. No interaction means I can't enter the data in it or try to properly get entering something and taking the data from it is not possible in static website. So the technologies, now coming to the part of technologies, with which kinds of technologies we can build the particular HTML, the static web pages. So the technologies that will be used are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. With these three technologies, we will be building the static web pages, and we'll be beginning from here itself, building our first static web pages. Now, coming to the next part, which is, and one more thing is that there will be no database used in it. There will be no database used in it. That is only about the static page. No database means no data will be stored in the database. We'll talk about this in much deeper way in our later sessions. Just for the kickstart, we require to understand these things. That's it. Okay. Next is about our dynamic web page. You might have also seen, to give you a proper example related to dynamic web pages, is nothing but the day-to-day website that you people use is Google. You might be using YouTube. You might be using uh, Facebook. You might be using Instagram. So all these kinds of websites lie under dynamic web pages. So what we basically do in our dynamic website is, because just to give you one example related to Google itself. For example, I go to google.com, and in the search bar, I'll go for typing any of the query. For example, let me just show you. If I go to browser and search here Innovatum, okay, the company that we are having. So what I am doing here, I have typed something which is giving me a output. And what is that output? They have provided me the n number of links related to the query that I have searched, which is innovatum. And this innovatum queries that I am getting is coming from the database, So what I am basically doing, I am trying to interact with the web page. So this is a proper interaction that I am doing. So what we do here, interaction, we are doing the interaction. Then along with that, if I give you one more example related to Facebook, basically what we do in Facebook is we are going to go for adding the pictures, adding the text, adding our basically videos also in that. So what we are going to do in this Facebook is we are going to create our own CRUD operations in our Facebook. Like we can add the post, we can edit the post, we can delete the post, and other viewers can view our post, or our friends can view the post that we have added. So this is what we basically do. So this is the dynamic web page interaction that we are going to do. Second thing, now, as just to take an example, suppose in your class there are some 100 students. 100 students have written the exam, and now I want to display the particular results of each student. If I go with the terms of static, then I have to create 100 student files with their names, because every student might have a different score on each subjects, their different total, their different percentage. So depending on that particular thing, I have to create 100 web pages. So this is not going to work for us, because creating 100 files is not a good thing. So instead of that, what we do is we are going to create a database. Okay, we are going to create a database in terms of a unique primary key. We can just go for taking that as your USN number or your university registration seat number. We can create a table in that. We can create your name. We can add the score in all the subjects you have scored with the percentage, each and everything, and store it in a database table. Once we have stored it, then we can go for taking that data. It means that we need to create a database. Database is required. Then coming to the part of the technologies, we require HTML, we require CSS, we require JavaScript. And along with that, yes sir.
Hi everyone. I hope Mr. Abdul Rahim, did you keep recording for that?
Yeah, I have kept a recording of it.
Yeah, great. Please, the session is really going very excellent. Please go ahead. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry for the disturbance. Okay.
Okay, so here, as I was talking about the dynamic web pages, the technologies that we will be using are the same thing for which we were using for static, which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then, along with that, because we are using the database, and if someone asks you what is the main purpose of using the programming language, then you can say them that to fetch the data or to interact with the database, we require a programming language. Programming language. It might be anything. It might be PHP, it might be Python, it might be .NET, it might be Java, or it might be R. Any programming language will be okay for us. But the matter of thing is, we need to know the programming basic things. If you know the programming, how to fetch the data from the database, how to get the data from the database, or how to store the data inside a database using a programming language, if we know all these things, then that much is enough for us to build a dynamic web page. Let me give you one more example. For example, suppose think that we have a Facebook account. Okay, I have a Facebook account, and even you people have a Facebook account. The design of Facebook homepage for everyone is same. Okay, for example, I open my profile in Facebook. The design for the Facebook homepage profile for me is same as yours. The only matter of thing is it will be changed according to our content. For example, I have logged in from my whatever details I have provided in Facebook, that will be displayed to me. Like I have added my name, I have added my designation, I have added my city, address, mobile number, email address, even my posts also. Whatever I have post will be displayed to me. Same thing will happen to you. The design will never be changing. The only thing that is changed is the content. Okay, and this will be done from the fetching the data from the database from the programming language. So this is, I think I have made it clear, like what is a static web page and what is a dynamic web page. So I request everyone of you, if you have any doubts related to this, you can just open up with your mic and speak if you have any doubts related to this. Yes, Shilpa, Madhura, Deepti, Srigauri, Shilpa, Sonia, Bhagya, Ganga, Nandini, Madhura.
No doubt, sir.
I think
No,
I
sir.
have made myself clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now shall I proceed then?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay then. Now, when I said about the static and dynamic web page, I think I have made it more clear for you people related to the topic. Like this is what we have to understand. Now, depending on these things, we will be proceeding to our technology. Let's move forward to our technology. I'll just Control X it and paste it in our chat box so that you people can retrieve the data from here. Okay. Now, coming to the part of the technology, here, if we want to create our career or to make a career in IT industry, then we require to understand three technologies. Even if you want to become a software engineer, data scientist, if you want to become a AI/ML engineer, if you want to become your career and you want to make your career in full stack development, web development, different kinds of IT sectors like testing, manual testing, automated testing, even for cloud computing also, you need to understand three technologies in your IT career. And without this, if you think that you can enter into the IT industry, is very difficult. To this extent of work, we will be understanding our three basic technologies, that is HTML, CSS and JavaScript. With the help of these three technologies, we will be working for creating our n number of applications. Okay, so now coming to the part of HTML, we'll begin with HTML. HTML is nothing but hypertext markup language. Okay, even you know it from your academic. What is HTML? Hypertext markup language. So this hypertext markup language is nothing but a technology, a markup language. Know that this is not a programming language. Okay, HTML is not a programming language, but it is a markup language. It is a markup language. Now, to understand any technology or any of the markup language, we need to understand its programming structure, what are its different kinds of syntaxes that are being helped out or to be known. We need to understand that first. If you are learning any technology like Python, Java, or anything, first we need to know how to install it. Then we must know how to use that syntaxes and how the syntaxes are used in the programming language. That's it. So, as I said, HTML is a markup language and it has its own syntax. So let's begin with understanding what is HTML and how we can use it. HTML, as I said, hypertext markup language. Hyper means extraordinary text. Extraordinary text. Because text is simple, whatever we going to type. What is this extraordinary text? Extraordinary text is nothing but if we add those things in an open and closing tag, then it will be an extraordinary text. For example, what is this open and close tag? If I give a less than and a greater than mark, this is our opening tag. And if I close it with a slash, then this is the closing tag. This is our opening tag. This is our closing tag. So two types of tags available in HTML: opening tag, closing tag. So when I say about open and close, here, if I write something in this, like let me take my name itself, Abdul Rahim. This is Abdul Rahim element. I can say this as Abdul Rahim element. So this is a user defined element. Okay, user defined element, not a built-in element. Now, if I want to close it, Abdul Rahim, now it means that the open element of Abdul Rahim and the closing element of Abdul Rahim. Whatever content I have to write will be writing in this one, in the center open in between of the opening and closing tag of Abdul Rahim. So this is our open and close tag and the elements can be written in this way. Now, coming to the part of the structure of HTML, the structure of HTML comes up because everything is set up and the structure is something in every programming language that we have to work in this purpose only, in this particular way itself. For example, if I have to work in C, then I have to write the header files like stdio.h, math.h, conio.h. I have to write it. Without that, I cannot go for proceeding. Then I have to write a void function. Then same thing for in our Java also, and many programming language have their different kinds of structure. So HTML says that if you want to write a HTML file, then begin it with opening of HTML tag. This is our opening of HTML tag, which says that it is the beginning of a HTML file. Then let me close it here itself. Now you can see open of HTML, close of HTML. Then within this, we have a head tag. Okay, and within this head tag, we have a title tag. Closing of the title. and closing of the head over here. So this head part, within this head part, we have a title, which means that this is the particular title of our tab that we want to provide it in our browser. Next, we'll go for once, apart from this title, we are going to use the head part for displaying the different types of CSS. Okay, we can write CSS also in this. Also, we can write scripts in it, I mean JavaScript, and also we can add the CDN links in our head part along with the meta tag and all. Okay, then after this we have a body tag, and here is the closing of body. This is the simple HTML content structure. This is how we will be writing on it. Now, once we have written the structure, let's see how we can go for running the file. So let me just say my first web page as the title of my tab. To run this, save it. To run this, right click anywhere on the editor or the page which you are working in and say open in browser. Once I say open in browser, now you can see that my first web page is displayed on the title. If you see, this is how I can go for checking it out. And to display the data inside of the white part of our web page, we need to write it inside the body tag. For example, I'll just type any sort of things, save the file. Every time you make changes, save the file, then go for refreshing the web page. This is one way how we can run it. Now, the another way is of running the file is you can go to the folder where you have stored it, double click on it. Okay, open this folder. Here is my file. The icon that you see on the left hand side, it is showing me a Chrome HTML document. Okay, Chrome HTML document. Either you can right click, say open with Google Chrome, any of the browser you want, you can open it with. Because I have set my default browser to Chrome, if I just double click it, it will run me the file. This is the second way. First is run from the editor itself directly. The second way is to run it from the particular file. Okay, so no need of opening it every time, because I have seen this doing the mistakes every time, right clicking, open in browser. No, you don't need to open n number of tabs here. You just need to open it. If you have made any changes in the file, just refresh it. That's it. Now, as we were talking about HTML, HTML is used only to display the content. Okay, remember this thing. HTML is used to display only the content. Apart from that, there is no other work of HTML. And HTML content are of two types. One is a type of text and the second one is a type of multimedia. Only these two types of contents can be displayed in HTML. Okay, let's see with the particular tags how we can go for understanding these things. First, we'll select the type of content that we will be displaying. To display the content, we require the built-in tags or elements of HTML. If you know some simple basic English also, you can work in HTML. Okay, now there are, if you see in text in any website, if we open, okay, let me just show you the Google itself that we have open. This is the web page of Google. If you see, only two types of content is displayed, that is the text part, the multimedia, which means images, videos, and whatever other things. Okay, so if I want to work on text part, then as you can see, this text is different. Okay, this text is a bit smaller. Okay, this text is a bit more smaller. Different kinds of text has been displayed. We can differentiate the text into headings and paragraphs. So HTML comes up with 6 different kinds of headings, that is H1, H2, okay, H2, and we have H3, we have H4, H4, we have H5, and we have H6. So all these are the different kinds of headings used in HTML. To display the content, we'll just enter it inside our tags. And this is our headings. So I'll go to the browser and click on the first page and refresh it. That's it. And refresh it. That's it. So it means that headings that are available, H1 is the highest heading, then keeps on going in the decreasing order. H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Then if I want to display a paragraph, the spelling starts with P. Okay, this is a simple paragraph. Let me just try to copy any of the paragraph from here. I'll copy it from here, go to the browser, code editor, paste it. That's it. Then go to the browser, refresh the web page. Here is our text being displayed. This is the type of text that we will be working on. Now, coming to the second part of our content, which is type of multimedia. To display the type of multimedia, okay, let us see what are the different kinds of multimedia things available. Images, MP3 files, videos, YouTube videos, or trying to embed the things from YouTube, Google Maps, or a whole website itself. Okay, these all comes under in our embedding, in our multimedia. So let us first try to display the image. To display the image, make sure we open one of the images. Okay, we can just directly go to Google and try to display the image. Okay, let me just take this image of Innovatum. Just wait until do not go for directly copying it from here itself. Make sure you remove the blurriness. Wait for a while, just click on the image, wait for a while so that the blurriness of the image goes away. Right click on the image, save the image, and make sure you select the path where your code has been stored. Which is our newly created folder, which is Internship 2025. I don't want to give the whole name like scale 3 and all. Let me just give a simple name called 1 and save the file. Go to our code now and check the images being displayed over here, which is 1.jpeg. Remove it. Now to display the image, as I said, simple English is enough. img tag with src as a attribute. Okay, the red line which you are seeing, the red text which you are seeing is element, and the extra gray color kind of a thing that you see is called as attribute. Okay, attribute. If I say to add a source attribute for image, then you should add it something like this. So within this, now I'll go for displaying the image 1.jpeg, the name of our image. Save it, go to the browser, refresh the web page, and here we have the displaying of our image. Now, as you can see that image is a rectangle. Okay, image is a rectangle. I can add the formula of length into breadth to it, and this can be possible with the help of the width attribute to 100%. If I give 100%, then you can see it is now in a full width way. It is now 100%. If I want to set the height of it, length into breadth means height itself, width and height. So I'll give height of some 100 px. Just watch how it shrink to 100 px. Always remember, height should be given in pixel itself. So I don't want to display it in this way. And even for if I remove it 100% and give pixel, refresh it, this is how the image being displayed. So I don't want to set out the height for it because it basically is not working for us. So instead of this, I'll give 100%. Save it, refresh the web page, and here we have the overall things for us. Now, the second thing is, let me just try to display an embedded video from YouTube. If I just go to YouTube and search for Innovatum. Here, let me just go for
React is a free and open.
let me just go for adding this video itself. To add this YouTube video in our particular website, I need to click on share. You might have shared so many videos till now for different applications, and today if you are working, you need to work on the particular this only. Okay, in laptop itself, when I click on this embed option, it gives me one option of code here. I can directly copy this and go to my browser, and where I want to display, let me just give some break tag. Break means line break, and paste it over here. This is my code. First, let us see how this will be displayed in our web page. Refresh, make sure you have internet connected to your system, and here is our YouTube video displayed. Forwarded, fast forwarded,
ऑर्गेनाइज किया था कि जहाँ पे
all these things can be displayed over here. If I want to make the differentiation of width and height, let me just give this to some 500 px. Height and width, I have changed it. Refresh the web page. Okay, and here we have a fully functional YouTube video added. Second thing, what if I also want to display some address? So I'll just go to Google Maps, search for it, click on Google Maps, and here in the search box for the address, I can search for Innovatum, and here I can click on it. So the same thing I have to follow up in my Google Maps also. Like, I'll click on share, click on embed a map, then copy HTML, go to the code, add two more BR tags, paste the code wherever you want, and now set the height and width of it. Like I'll provide 100%, some 500 of pixels of height, then go for refreshing the web page. Refresh it, and now you can see that a fully functional Google map is displayed. Like I can just go for a satellite view. If I double click on it, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, all the functions are going to work for us. So this is how we have created our multimedia also. Okay, same thing. Now you can see that whatever content I have added in my web page is only for reading purpose, read only purpose. I cannot interact in this. I can't do anything in this apart from the basic functions like scrolling or clicking on a button. Apart from this, I can't do anything. So because of this, I can say that this is a static web page. This is a static web page. So this is how, or for the purpose, we are going to use our HTML. HTML is used only for displaying the content. That's it. Now, if I want to change you can see I have a white color background. If I want to change the background to some different color, I can go to body, BG color, yellow. Save it. Now check out, the color of our website is now changed to yellow. This is how we can go for working on a static web page. Now, if you do have any questions, please go for asking the questions. You can open up your mic and you can go for asking the questions if you have any doubts. Yes, dear students, if you do feel to ask any questions, you can open up your mic, and if your mic is not working, you can just put me a message in the chat box over here. Please go for asking the questions. Ambika Kumbar, Anjum, Anuradha, Aisha, Bhagya, Deepti, Ganga, KK, Madhura, Nandini, Shilpa, Sonia, Shri Gauri, Sujata, Vaishu. Do you have any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. I hope so. I have made it clear. Okay. Okay. If you still have any doubts, you can go for asking. Okay. Okay. I'll just have a 2 minutes water break. I'll just have some water, 1 or 2 minutes, and we'll start the session back again in 2 minutes. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Just 2 minutes. We'll start it again. Okay, so I'm back, and will shall we proceed with the session, dear students?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as you can see that, I have added n number of different things in this. Now, I'll just try to bring down and remove the things from here. Okay, I'll be working in the same file. What you can do is try to create a different file now. Okay, so to do this, I'll just go for removing all the content that I had added, and to bring down the every part of things into this one. And this is how our output now looks like. Okay, this is how our output looks like. Now, if you might have seen in so many websites, like you can see, like if I click on this all, it gives me all. If I click on this news, it takes me to news. If I click on this videos, it takes me to videos. So we are basically proceeding from one page to another page. To do this kind of proceedings, okay, let me just do one more thing. I'll just center the content. As you can see, for centering the content, I have used the center tag. This is how the content will come in the center part. Now, okay, so now suppose I want to create a page, or if I want to make my website to be redirected to some another website or some another page, how I can do that? So to do that, okay, uh, before moving to that, one more thing I want to show you people. Like, many of you might get confused, okay, like whether the first should be HTML, head, then title, then head, body, center. Okay, initially it is quite difficult to understand. So, as I said you that the purpose of using the purpose of using this particular editor, the editor that I have came for, which is Sublime, is because we don't have to remember the syntaxes. We can directly focus on the particular logic of the program that we are going to write. Okay, you can see it took me at least 2 to 3 minutes to type the overall things. So what this editor does for me is to make me concentrate on the particular logic of the program. So what I am switching from, always our mind will be focusing on remembering the syntaxes. I'll remove that thing and come to logic purpose only, and that can be done from, just see here, this editor. Make sure you have saved the file first, then html. You can see that it is displaying me something which is an autocorrector. If I click on this, suddenly all the structure of HTML will be provided to me. Now, what is my logic? My logic is to write the content. My first web page. Save it. Our logic again, bg color, then go for writing it in yellow. After this, just provide some space, then take the center tag. Okay, and within this we have a h1 tag. With this h1 tag, now you can see how beautifully and easily I can write the syntax. Okay, if we refresh the web page itself, this is how the same thing happened. Now we came to know how, for what purpose the editors are being used. Now let's get back to the topic where we wanted our redirection of our web page to some another website or some another web page. So to do that, first of all, we have a tag called a tag. Okay, as you can see here, it comes up with a h reference. H reference means we need to provide the website where we want our site to move on. For example, let me just make it to, okay, Innovatum. Let me just make it to Innovatum. I'll copy the address from here, go to the code, paste it from here. Now to make, okay, so many of the students make this mistake that when they refresh the web page, still nothing is being displayed unless you go for adding the name, like go to Innovatum. Save it. Now the content is being displayed within the anchor tag. Save it. Now see, it says go to Innovatum. Okay, let me just remove everything from here so that we can get a clear idea how this works for us. When I click on go to Innovatum, see here, our site is now redirected. Now, this is one thing. What if I want to increase the size of this go to Innovatum, like this h1 tag? So within this, I can also go for adding the h1 tag for my content that I'm trying to display. Save it, refresh this, and you can see, go to Innovatum, go back, and there is an attribute of anchor tag called target underscore blank. This will allow me to create a new tab and refresh this first, to create a new tab and open it in our this new tab, particularly keeping this file open itself. Okay, when I click on this, you can see it has went to Innovatum, but our page is like this only. Now this is one way we can directly redirect it to the particular URL, this one, any site it might be. Now what if I want to do it for local pages? Let me remove everything and check it out first. Go to, let me just say, I'll be creating an about page. Go to about. Let me also change this to index page so that we can get a clear idea. Okay, so here I'll be creating a new file. Right click on it, new file, save the file, Control S, check out that it is in the same folder, about.html, save it. Same thing, I'll just go for copying this, paste it over here, and about page, let me just take this as about page, make this red or green itself, no problem, and I'll change this to about. Here, go to index. Okay, now the important thing that is not about adding the content, but in our anchor tag, suppose I have given go to about, then here I have to give the name of the file. Make sure the file is in the same folder. Okay, I have given here about.html, and in about also we have it. So for this I'll give index.html. Let me remove this target blank now. Okay, because we are working in the same web page, that's why we don't want to redirect it to the new tab. So here I have created two files, one is index and one is about. I have saved both the files. Now Let's refresh this. Click on this, go to about. You can see now this is our about page. Click on go to index. This is our index page. You can see how beautifully, even wash this also. Now it is about page, and then go to index. It is my first web page. This is how we can redirect our website. Okay, now there might be some possibility. Okay, I'm not just saying that every time it must be having the same thing. For example, let me just download two images. Let me just say Jupiter images. Okay, Jupiter planet images. Okay, this is one thing, one image. It comes up with the magnetic aura of Jupiter. Right click on it, save image as JUP1. Okay, JUP, that's it. Save the file. Let me just take Saturn planet images. Okay, let me just take this image for Saturn. Right click on it, save image as SAT. That's it. Save the image. Now just check out that here I have JUP JPG sat.jpg. I have two images in this. What I'll do is in my index page, I'll just go for adding something like this, image directly in my anchor tag. Let me just go to entering it so that you can see the image tag properly. JUP dot JPG. Okay, then I'll copy the same image, go to my index page also, and paste it over here, and I'll just say this as sat.jpg. And along with that, I'll just provide the width of some 50%, not the full image, for both the images. Here also the same image with the same width. Now watch this out. It's my first image. You can see when I click this image, it will take me to about page. When I click this image, it will take me to index.html file. This is how we are going to use our anchor tag to redirect the web page. Okay, so this is how we can be doing the things, as you can see. I hope so that I have cleared the concept of redirecting the page from one to another. Yes, do you have any questions in this? Yes, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, then let me just proceed. Okay, there are n number of HTML tags available. We'll not dive into seeing all the HTML tags for now. We have something else to see now. More, I'll close everything. I'll even close this. Now again, I'll just get back to Innovatum and see this, that okay, this is our Innovatum. This is the page that we are working on. Okay, just to make it more clear, for us, the things that we are going to see here is about, like if you see that the default color of HTML is black. I want that. I want to change this particular color to something else. To do that, the way that I can go for, okay, if you remember, I had said you that HTML is used for displaying the content, okay, and to that content, if I want to do designing, then that will be called as CSS, cascading style sheets. Suppose this is an content innovatum. I want to change the color, font, or font family, or any other things, then I can do it for it. So this can be done with a style attribute, and remember that style attribute can be used for all the HTML elements. Okay, style, I'll take the color attribute, color, and let me just give it blue and give a semicolon to end it. Refresh the page. Now you can see that this is being used for displaying the blue color. Okay, what if I want to just change the color of this 2 to red, this 200 to red. So I can also do that with the help of the span tag, closing of the span. Okay, and again I can go for adding the style to it, style, color. Let me just give this red, save it, and now you can watch the color is changed to red. So this is how I can make the changes. Now what if I think this is, I have made myself clear about the span tag. Now what if I want to increase the font size of it? So I'll just give font size 100 px, save it, refresh this one, the font size will be increased. What if I want to change the font family? Let me just change it to sans serif, save it, refresh, and here I have changed this to sans serif. Or even if I want this to be Verdana, save it, refresh, and you can see it has changed to Verdana. Now after this, if I just want to move, my content from left side, then I'll be providing margin. Okay, margin basically has 4 attributes. One is margin top, margin right, margin left, and margin bottom. If I give only margin, then it will take all the 4 attributes, and if I give some 150 px, so that you can see the difference of it, when I give 150 px, it will take 150 px from the left hand side, 150 px from the top hand side. Okay, can you see? Because already we are using the center tag, that's why it is center, and you can see how it has taken the top. Now after this, suppose if I want to do the same for any of the image, let me just display 1.jpeg image, save it, the image is being displayed over here. Let me just remove the margin of it. You can feel that margin that I have provided, save it, because I have to scroll it, that's why. Now you can see the image is being displayed over here. For this image, if I want to do any sort of designing, like I want to set the style width of 100%. Width can also be provided from style, width and height. You can see width is provided, even same as height. But apart from that, I want to show you something else. I'll give it some 50%, and I want to provide some corner rounded border. So I'll just go for border radius of some 10%. Now see the image. You can see the curves have been given to the images. This is the curves. What if I give some 50%? 50%. The image now becomes an rounded oval shaped. But basically we won't display it in this way, but for 50px, you can see this is the rounded image. So this is how we can add CSS to our HTML elements. And the way that I have added the CSS in my HTML part itself, as you can see, to my HTML part itself. So for this HTML innovatum that I have added the style in the HTML tag itself. This way of writing the CSS is called as inline CSS. Is called as inline CSS. Okay, the way that I have added it, like style and all, this way is called as inline way. Now I'll remove it for a while, and if you remember, I had already said you I had already said you that why the head tag is being used for. So for this to make the usage of the head tag, don't worry about this one, head meta and all, I'll explain it later on. So head part can also be used for displaying the styles. If you remember, I had said this, I'll be adding a head style in the head part, and to this one I'll be writing the CSS in three different ways. One is, suppose I want to display the customized name over here. Suppose I want to display customized name, I'll be using a dot. Then for example, let me give my name itself, Abdul Rahim, enter the flower basis, and here I'll be giving the color as blue, then font size of 100px, save it. Now check the output. Here we have the output, the same output, but if you can see that I have written the styles in the head part and I have written a customized name with dot. To use this customized name, okay, in any element, then I have to use a class for it. Class Abdul Rahim, save it. Now you can see the output. Not only this, if I have some h2 element also, innovatum, then save it. Let me show you the output first. This is how the output being displayed. If I want to add the same design to it, I can paste the same class. Okay, innovatum. Now apart from this, if I don't want it to be used as a customized dot, or if I don't want to use it as a class, then I can use a hash. I can use a hash over here, which is, instead of writing the class, I can use the ID for it. Just watch it. I'll keep this as a class itself so that you can feel the difference of in the output. Okay, if I just go for providing the ID, save it. Now go for watching the output. innovator. This is the second way. I can provide a dot, I can provide a hash. If I don't want to provide anything over here, if I don't want to provide anything over here, then the the third way that I can display the content is with the HTML element name. Like I'll directly provide h1. Think that there are some 100 h1 tags available in our particular file. Okay, in this file itself, think that 100 h1 tags are available. To make the changes in all the h1 tag, I have to find all the h1 tags and add class, everything in that. Okay, so for this I'll directly provide the element name itself, like h1. Now watch the output. Okay, if I want to provide it for h2 also, I'll give a comma h2. Watch the output. Okay, what if I want to provide it for a paragraph also? P tag, this is my para. Okay, save it. Watch the output first. Okay, this is my para. If I want to provide the CSS for this also, I'll provide a comma p. Save it, refresh. This is my paragraph. So this is our writing of this way. The CSS that we have written this way is called as internal CSS. And one more thing that I want to show you, already I have given this as blue color. If I use again a style and say color and just give it something like red, see the output, it will override the existing CSS. So inline CSS is going to override the existing CSS, as you can see this. Okay, so this is how we can be writing the CSS inline and internal way. Okay, let me just remove this everything. So finally, the last topic of our today's session, that is, we have written it in inline way, internal way. There is one more way how we can go for writing the CSS. And to write the such kind of CSS, we can create a new file for it. Okay, let me just give you a scenario before moving to that. Suppose think that like this, I have written the CSS code. Think that I have written 1000 lines of code. Okay, 1000 lines of code, and each and every time I open the file to work on it, I have to scroll 1000 lines of CSS code. Okay, see, if I want to find, I have to scroll 1000 lines, right? This way. So to scroll 1000 lines for one time is okay, but coming and doing it for regularly daily basis for working on the same page will create a hecticness for working. So for that, we do one thing, writing and creating a pure HTML and CSS file. In this, will not keep any sort of CSS, will keep it only for HTML purpose for displaying the content, and will create a new file this way. Right click on it, new file, save the file as style.css and give an enter and paste the code whatever I had written. Okay, now if you see that there is nothing allotted, and if I show you the output also, the output is back to normal. Now to apply the CSS written in a different style.css file, I have to use in the head part a link tag. Link, okay, the name of the file. and make sure you have the file style.css file in the same folder itself. If you keep it somewhere and trying to call it, it will not work. So this is our pure HTML content file. This is our pure HTML CSS file. Sorry, CSS file. Okay, save it. Now we have linked our CSS file. Now watch the output. Refresh the file. So this is how beautifully we can go for writing the CSS. So a lot more things are available. A lot more things are available that we can do in our CSS. So I hope so the basic part is cleared for everyone. Okay. After this was just a basic understanding of what we can do in HTML and CSS, how we can set up and give a kickstart to our learning. After this, we will be having the learning of pure industrial way. Pure industrial way. Like for cloning of the websites, for going for displaying the content in a very different way. Okay, like dividing the web page into n number of parts. Okay, there are n number of things that we can do. So for doing that, we require at least the starting of the session should be from a new session. Okay, if I start it now, it will take me at least 2 hours more. Okay, so I don't want to dive into that. We can do that in our later sessions. Okay. uh, now what we can do is, with the help of HTML CSS, we can go for displaying the box model. Let me explain you what is this box model. In CSS, box model is essentially a box that wraps around every HTML element it consists of. So there are four major things are that should be available in our box model. One is the content, and for the CSS we require padding, borders, and margin. Okay, I'll show you how we can be allotting that. Okay, let everything be in a simple way. Let it be for the background as yellow itself. Now, so here let me tell you what this content will be done. The content of the box where the images, text, and all the content is going to appear. Padding is going to be for clearing the area around the content. Then border for providing the border, margin for providing the margin to make a clear area outside the border. Okay, so this will be doing it. Now to do this I'll be creating, okay, I'll be just keeping it in the center part itself. For this I'll be creating a division tag. So basically division tag is used to divide the web page into n number of parts. Now I'll be taking an h1 tag which says innovatum, and I'll take a paragraph. Let me copy the paragraph from somewhere. Okay. Okay, I'll just take about Jupiter. Okay, as you can see, the content is being provided for us. I'll just copy it, go to my paragraph, and paste the content. You can just go for arranging it as you want. If you want a break to be provided, as you can see, if you want a break to be provided, you can provide it. And if you want to provide certain amount of uh, spaces, whatever you can do in here. Okay, let me just provide a proper spacing to this by pressing the tab so that all the content is going to come under one line. Okay, so after the sizes, I require a break tag. After moons, I require a break tag, and after this also I'll be requiring a break tag. And at the end or at the end of our paragraph tag, I'll be taking one image. See here, I'm not doing any sort of things. I'm just trying to display the content. Okay, no other things I'm doing, just trying to display the content in this. Okay, once I have done it, once I have done, I'll first show you the output of it. This is how our output is being displayed. As you can see, this is how the output is being displayed. Now, instead of this CSS, I want to write a new CSS code which will be for our div tag, for division tag directly. I want a background color as light blue itself. Then I want a width of some 500 px. I want some border of some 15 px, solid light green. Then I want some padding of, I'll tell you what is this padding and all, some 50 px. Then I want some margin of 20 px. Okay, so this is my division code that I want to add. So this is my content for this division. Let us now check the output. Refresh, and here it is. Now you can see, but the image you can see here is going out of our box. To make it look good, I can just set the image width to 100%. Save it. See here, already I have linked the file. If you have missed it, the output will not be displayed properly. Make sure you display it. Now see the output. See how the content is being provided correctly. So this is the box model. So I was talking about padding, right? The space that we get from padding is the space. If I get it directly from the corner uh, of my box, this, it will not be good for readability. Let me just show you. If I change it in CSS to 0px, save it. Now check the readability. Can you see everything is coming right from the corner? So the readability, even the images touching the corners of the border, I don't want it. So to provide some space, I have given it the padding. It will provide the space. Now even for this box, I can provide a corner of border radius to it. Border radius, let me just give some 10%. That much is enough, I guess. Save it, refresh this. Now you can see how the border is cornered. Okay, one more CSS that I can add it here is for img tag border radius of 10%, so that we can match it for the image. Why I'm giving border radius for images, because you can see the curveness is given to the box model. If I give it the same way, this design looks good. If I refresh this, now you can see it looks like the matching one. So this is how beautifully we can go for displaying the box model. If I just go for removing the background from my BG color background yellow, this will be totally white now, and this is the way how it looks. You can provide it with different kinds of colors and all, it depends on you. Okay, so this is how I can be displaying the CSS in a box model, right? So I hope so that I have made myself much more clear. And if you still have any doubts, you can just please go for asking me, because we will end the topic of the session here itself. Yes, can you just tell me? Do you have any doubts? Yes, Ambika, Anjum, Anuradha, Bhagya, Deepti, Ganga, Madhura, then Shilpa, Nandini, Shri Gauri. So this was our uh, basic HTML session. A lot more things we are actually doing in the internship already. And you can think that, because I had already said to sir that online will not be a comfortable place. You can think that now we have provided the online session to you people. This is, I hope so. Was it good? Was it a good session for you? Anjum, Sujata, can you just tell me?
Yes, sir. Good question.
Okay. So now you can think that uh, when we can do these many things in online session, then think the way how we people teach in offline session. Okay. We give personal care to each and every student. Their doubts will be resolved in one by one way. Okay, not in group and all. We usually go to the students, we ask their issues, whether the output has came or not, and we resolve their issues face to face, one by one. Okay, so this is how we basically teach, and this is how we have the sessions far more better in offline. Okay. Yes, we are about to end the session. If you please have any doubts, you can go for asking it. No. There is only two things. Will you share the recordings of the class? Sure, sure. I'll be sharing it. No issue on that. Okay, there might be two possibilities if you're not asking me the questions. Either you have understood everything, or either you haven't understood anything. What should I consist?
We understood, sir.
Understood, sir.
Okay. Okay then. So that was it for from my end for today's session, and you can just contact to Shokas or directly related to about the timings and all. He'll be posting to you people in the WhatsApp group. So if any doubts also, I'm already available in the group. You can just text if you feel any sort of issues while working on this, and make sure the work I have shown you today should be done practically. Okay, so this is uh, a practical session internship, not theoretical things. We don't believe in theoretical things. We make the students to work practically. Okay, so if any issues you'll be facing again while you are working at your home, then you can please go for taking the screenshot of the issue that you are facing and send it in the group. I'll be responding to it. So shall we wind up the session for the day? Okay, so recording will be shared to you after 15 to 20 minutes. You can have a look on it again, and we will be continuing tomorrow, and the timings will be informed to you people in the WhatsApp group. Okay, have a great day ahead, guys. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Ganga.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.